ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Dover International Speedway. It is the MNT Cup Series back in action here this evening. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, chat. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is going to be a great show. This is going to be a ton of fun, and we are in for an absolute treat here once again this evening. A big field of drivers, a lot of cars ready to go into battle here on the evening. Each and every one of them looking to try to pick up the win as we get these drivers out onto the speedway here for a little bit of qualifying action before we get rocking and rolling into our main feature event, our main race of the evening. About to get underway here in just a few more moments, but I do welcome each and every one of you into the broadcast. If you guys are just tuning in, please make sure you do me the favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we'll get ready to set them loose here in just a few more moments. We'll get ready to go to battle and put these drivers up for their money on the evening as things are about to get a little bit wild. Things are about to get pretty absolute awesome here this evening as we'll get ready to set them loose. We'll get ready to go green flag here in just a couple more moments. We'll get ready to make sure each and every one of these drivers are ready to go to war here as this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time, some great racing. Dover International Speedway always put on such a good show for us, man. Week in, week out, Dover is always one of my favorite tracks to head to, especially here on the simulator. And with the MNT Cup Series, it's going to be a lot of the same action, a lot of door-to-door, side-by-side, two-wide, three-wide battles out there on the racetrack, and we're in for a lot of fun. Caleb, Mr. Ramsey coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Caleb? Caleb coming in, some matching that thumbs up here on the broadcast as everything is running smoothly. Looks like everything's running good. Hopefully everything continues to run good. No issues as we'll get ready to go to battle, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get ready to go to battle here. See that 57 rhyme, that's AJ Cruz out there on the speedway, currently fourth quickest here in qualifying, but right now it's all Zach Roethlisberger as he is the fastest car on the speedway here in this qualifying session. A few more drivers left to lay down lap times. Justin Lewis rolling out onto the racetrack here. Lewis looking to put down a good lap here himself, looking to have a big run in that 07 ride as still looking for Brian Huntley Jr. to jump out onto the racetrack as well. But right now, looks like 17 drivers have laid down lap time. Still waiting for a few more to get their laps in before we get rocking and rolling here with our main show on the evening. What everyone came here to see is all these drivers duking it out, rubbing and scrubbing as qualifying has come to a close. And that means we'll get ready here for our main feature event. Our A-main coming right at you as Brantley Roden says, let's go, boys and girls. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Brantley is Mr. Harpoon Designs coming in, showing the love over there on the YouTube channel as we got 125 laps here around the concrete monster mile. It is going to be a heck of a show. It's going to be one great race. Now, the big thing is going to be, pit strategy, fuel strategy, when you come down pit lane, how many caution flags are we going to have? When are we going to see those caution flags fall? Do they help them? Do they hurt them? Does it make things that much easier, that much tougher for each and every one of these drivers out on the speedway? It's going to come down to some last minute decisions and everything else for these drivers to be able to, make up their minds and, know where or when they're going to make some of those moves. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time. And we're in for a heck of a show and a heck of a race here this evening as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go to battle right here, right now from Dover International Speedways. Drivers getting loaded into the sim, starting on the pole in the 6th ride. See if we can get another good look at this machine as the 6th ride, the red and white ride down there on the front row. He will be starting in that pole position. It's Zach Roethlisberger who will be starting at the front of the field here in this one. So Big qualifying lap, a big run for Mr. Roethlisberger, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do there in that Kings Hawaiian number 6 ride. To his outside in the 13, it is the iRacing machine. That is Ryan Kelly, and starting there in position number 3, it is the Talking Giants YouTube channel. It's the Talking Giants ride of Anthony Calatoni. To his outside in the Majula Safe Speed Shop Mud Duck Racing WR1 Tech 3 machine, it is the 57 of AJ Cruz. Starting in position number 5 in the 8 ride, it is the Drink Sheer Wine number 8 ride of Dale Miller. To his outside in the Harpoon Designs number 1 ride, a beautiful looking paint scheme here for that one machine, as Steve Tucker going to be starting there in position number 6. Starting in the 7th position in the 88 ride, it is the beautiful paint scheme here for the MNT Motorsports machine of Clay Cantrell. To his outside in the Racing Canes number 95, that is Mike Peters. Bringing up the inside, a row number 5 here on the Speedway, it is the 16 ride of Justin Bentley. Into his outside in the 71 ride, rounding out our top 10, that is the Beast Mode machine of Daryl Young Jr. And we see Matthew Fritz, Brett Patterson, Matthew Wheeler, Caleb Ramsey, Kerry Klein, Derek Catt, Justin Lewis, Chris Campbell, Brian Huntley Jr. and Kenny Reel bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing here from the beautiful Dover International Speedway. Out in front quickly down the back straightaway, it is that 13 ride of Ryan Kelly, as we see a opening lap caution flag. So as quickly as we got things started, things already going to strive for some of the drivers out here on the racetrack. Looks like Justin Lewis, Matthew Wheeler, Brett Patterson all having some issues here, as we'll take a look back a little deeper in the field, see what we can see, as Patterson was a little farther forward. It starts way at the front of the field here. Not sure what may have started this, but unfortunately it looked like a lot of drivers just getting tied up right here on the initial start. I'm not sure. Does it start with Steve Tucker? I'm not sure if Tucker fired here on this start. Tucker slow up on the high side, the 71 trying to get around the 95 ride, and unfortunately as he goes 3 wide to get around the 1 machine, hooks that number 97 of Matthew Wheeler, and unfortunately collects a lot of other drivers here as well. So Daryl Young Jr. making that move as the 1 machine just does not get going here on the initial start. I'm not sure if he's just spinning the tires or maybe just caught him sleeping there ever so slightly. A tough break there for Steve Tucker as trying to get launched there. You see Young having to go into the middle here to try to get around them, and unfortunately the Freaky Fast Racing League 97 to the 71 come together. That watches them both back up the racetrack right in front of Steve Tucker there, and you see Peters getting some pretty good contact in there as well as he drives into it. The 27 ride having to get checked up here to try to avoid any of that contact, as Brett Peterson trying to get checked up. The 07 unfortunately going to go around there as well. He's going to get a little piece of contact with that 1 ride, as definitely not the way Justin Lewis wanted his day to go, as he gets a good piece of the outside fence. Doesn't look like too much damage there for the JL Racing machine, as the 27, the Coca-Cola Zero GoPro McDonald's ride, has to get onto the binders to avoid him. So a couple quick hits and a couple quick tore-up race cars here to start the evening. Let's see if we can go back again and take another look at it, as some tough breaks out here, some tough hits, some tough action. Let's see if we can jump right on board here with the 71 ride and get a good look from the helmet cam here of Daryl Young Jr. as green flag's out. They're all trying to get up through the gears. He makes the quick call to go to the middle, and then 97 just, I don't know if they just ran into each other there, both fighting for the same area on the racetrack, and unfortunately it just does not work out for either of them here on this initial start, as definitely not the way anyone wants to get their day started. We'll get a good look here from the chopper view as the 1 right in front here on the outside of the 3rd row, and just unfortunately doesn't get going. Then Contact right there, the 71 into the 97, and then from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. And fortunately, a tough way to get things started here on the evening as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Ryan Kelly was able to take the initial green flag lead here down through 1 and 2 and lead us down the back straightaway. That will give him the control here on the restart. Zach Roethlisberger there in second. Will be starting to the outside of the 13 ride as Anthony Galatoni, Dale Miller, the 88 of Clay Cantrell, AJ Cruz, Justin Bentley, Matthew Fritz, Derek Gatt, and Mike Peters round out our top 10. Chris Campbell, Kerry Klein, Brian Huntley Jr., Kenny Reel, Brett Patterson, Caleb Ramsey, Justin Lewis, Matthew Wheeler, Daryl Young Jr., and Steve Tucker will bring up the rear of the field in the Harpoon Designs #1 ride as we go back to green flag racing. A great jump right there for that number 13 machine as Ryan Kelly with a big jump and able to open up a bit of a lead here. Unfortunately for Zach Roethlisberger, another restart. This does not treat him well as we see a dogfight a little deeper in the field. A lot of door-to-door battling here. This is just inside our top 10 as see the 66 rider Chris Campbell going to move around Derek Gatt. Hang on, there goes the 44. The 44 rider Kerry Klein going to go around the caution flag back on the speedway. Caution flag back out here as Kerry Klein going for a little bit of a ride here out of corner number 4. Looks like maybe a little net code, maybe a little help here from the 27 ride. I'm not sure how tight this contact got, but not sure if it was just net code here or what might have happened. Is unfortunately 27 and the 44 just get tight together. Net code just makes it so that there is contact to that left rear quarter panel, even though he was clear. Unfortunately spins the 44 right around in front of Caleb Ramsey and the 23 ride of Kenny Reel as Reel gets quite a bit of damage there from the front end and the back end. Heavy damage there on the front end for Caleb Ramsey as he drives right in and almost through that McDonald's 23 machine. And unfortunately there for Klein going to go for a loop-de-loop. Luckily enough, doesn't look like too much damage done to that 44 ride. As see if we can jump right on board here, get a look from the cockpit perspective of Kerry Klein heading through this corner. Just no inclination of the contact, unfortunately, just quickly enough, and around goes this 44, and goes around. Nothing he can do except for lock it up and hope to stay out of contact with other drivers, and unfortunately for a couple other contenders, nowhere for them to go right there. As we'll take a look back here, we did see Dale Miller also going to the back of the pack here. Miller was up towards the front of the field. I'm not sure what happened to the 8 ride on the restart, but we'll take a look and see what happens to this 8 machine as we get up through the gears. The 6 ride slow on the restart, and 57 ride trying to get going. Unfortunately, with the 6 of Roethlisberger just not firing as soon as everyone was anticipating. The 57 comes with a big head of steam there, trying to time that restart perfectly. He does get a good restart and unfortunately just gets into the back end of the 8 ride, puts him up into the outside fence there, and unfortunately some pretty good damage right there for that 8 machine. And I do apologize. I do see Facebook like connecting and disconnecting over there. I don't know what's going on with Facebook stream. Hopefully YouTube and everything is fine. I hope I don't see it anywhere else. The 1 couldn't downshift. The 1 couldn't downshift. Oh no. Oh no. The 1 couldn't downshift, so he was basically stuck in high gear right there on that initial start, and that's what caused the big issue there for Steve. That is a tough break, and when you have issues like that, it's so hard to know exactly what the issue is, whether it's your steering wheel, your shifter, or anything else that could be the issue, or so many other things, and hope that it's resolved quickly and not something that continues, especially when we have a bunch of issues, a bunch of caution flags. You got to continue, just keep on trying to go through the gears and everything else, and you can't do it. And every single one of these restarts, when you're down in first, second gear on restarts, if you're back in 4th or 5th gear, you're just you're sitting duck at the back of the pack, where everyone's just launched away, like we saw there on that first caution flag, where unfortunately Steve just could not get up to speed quick enough and caused a lot of contact and issues there as people were trying to get around him in a quick hurry. As we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Brantley says no issues here, no issues over on YouTube. So if you guys are watching over on Facebook and you're running into issues, I have seen it that it has dropped frames here and there. Make sure you go watch over on YouTube channel. YouTube looks fine. Twitch looks fine. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, as I do see it trying to connect the streaming software here and there and dropping frames over there. It's dropping and coming right back, dropping and coming right back. As we are back to Green Flag Racing here at Dover International Speedway. Out in front, we see Ryan Kelly once again take that race lead as Anthony Calatoni there in second as Clay Cantrell right there on his back bumper. Zach Roethlisberger, AJ Cruz door to door there for a little bit, but Cruz slides backwards and opens up the door for Justin Bentley to try to move into position number 5 on the Speedway as they battle door to door there for position number 5. We see Matthew Fritz back here in the 29 ride. He rolls in the 8th spot, and here comes Brian Huntley Jr. as well. Mike Peters rolling back around up into 7th, but Brian Huntley Jr. in that 34 ride. The Ranger Boats Bass Pro Shops machine starting all the way back at the rear of the field here, starting in the 19th position, now up into position number 8. So the 34 ride has been working himself to the front of the field as Fritz falls back to 9. We see Brent Patterson, who got tied up there in that first wreck, the 27, also getting tied up in the second wreck as well for the Coca-Cola 027 ride. He rounds out our top 10. It's the Harpoon Designs number 1 ride. Steve Tucker there in position number 11. You see Chris Campbell back there in 12th. Justin Lewis there in 13th. Kenny Reel there in 14th. Caleb Ramsey rounding out our top 15 as he's got Derek Catt, Darrell Young Jr., Matthew Wheeler, Kerry Klein, and Dale Miller slow on the Speedway here again for the 8 ride. Oh man, Dale Miller having a good start to the evening. Things have gone away here for him. Last couple of restarts, and right there, he's slow on the Speedway. I'm not sure he was trying to get down pit side or he just came in with a lot less momentum than the 44 ride did. The 44 comes in there, makes hard contact with that right rear of the bumper and just kind of nudges him down onto the apron. And once that car gets onto the apron, it kind of just levels out. No grip down there. He's on for the ride, spinning it sideways, sliding here through the corner. Luckily enough, misses pit road entry right there without contact of those sand barriers there in corner number 4 and able to keep on rolling. Unfortunately, may have flat spotted those tires, but keeps on rolling and now heads down pit side here. So a tough start to the evening for Dale Miller, dealing with some pretty heavy damage. But right now, Ryan Kelly, he's living life to the fullest. Kelly out in front here, leading the way by 1.8 seconds between himself. And now it is the 84 ride of Anthony Calatoni. I'm not sure what just happened to our race leader, chat. Our race leader just disappeared off the screen. I don't know what happened to Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly may be out of the ballpark now, and it may be Anthony Calatoni with the race lead here, as I'm not sure if he lost connection or something might have happened here for poor old Ryan Kelly, as Kelly was leading the way out in front by almost 2 seconds, and then I am not sure if he lost connection or what happened to that 13 machine, but it's now showing him off the Speedway. It shows the 84 of Clay Cantrell in second. Anthony Calatoni out in front. Sorry, I had to scroll up right there. It's Anthony Calatoni in the Talking Giants YouTube podcast number 84 ride out in front, leading the way here at Dover International Speedway. Is the 88 ride of Clay Cantrell there in second. The 16 ride of Justin Bentley continues to work himself up towards the front of the field. Here is the Ranger Boats number 16 there in third. Now is AJ Cruz in position number 4 and looking for more. Zach Roethlisberger slides back now to the 5th position as Brent Patterson, that's a fast car here, got tied up in a couple early incidences, but 27 pointing in the right direction. Now in that 6th position, and he's right there knocking on the doorstep of a top 5. Steve Tucker, we saw how his day got underway for the Harpoon Designs number 1 ride, as he couldn't switch through gears. Unfortunately, slow on the initial start, created quite a calamity on our initial green flag and caused quite a bit of damage to that one ride, but the crews went to work. They've got that car figured back out. They got it pointed in the right direction. The damage has been resolved, and looks like hopefully the shifting issues for the one ride have also been resolved here, and possibly rolling up through the field here in a quick hurry. Could be one of those drivers in contention for the win here, as right now it's only him, Brett Patterson, and Justin Lewis who are running in the 23-second bracket. Everybody else is running in the 24 area. So right now they are running some very good lap times. They've been consistently a little bit quicker than our race leaders, except for that last lap around. So it could be very interesting. Yep, it is resolved. Perfect. We love to hear that, Brantley. We love to hear that, Mr. Roden, as Steve's issues with the shifting have been resolved. So that is absolutely perfect. We never like to have drivers have issues out there on the speedway, especially an issue like that where there's really nothing you can do except for just hope for a good green flag run. Hope that you're in the gear that you need for green flag racing to keep yourself, in contention here. And luckily enough, not an issue anymore for Steve out there on the speedway, as right now he's got Brian Huntley Jr. trying to hunt him down there in position number 8, and Justin Lewis back there in the 9th spot. Matthew Fritz rounding out our top 10, having himself a great run as the 68 of Chris Campbell rolls there in 11th. Mike Peters back in the 12th as Caleb Ramsey now up into the 13th spot. He's got Kenny Reel and Daryl Young Jr. right there behind him, as Matthew Wheeler back in the 16th spot. Derek Catt, Kerry Klein there in 16th, 17th, and 18th, as Ryan Kelly still off of the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened to Ryan, and unfortunately looks like Dale Miller has also left the building here. So starting with 20, we're already down to 18, and one of them being our race leader at the time that he unfortunately disconnected or had internet issues. As we get a new race leader as Justin Bentley. Bentley goes to the front of the field. The 16 ride did not take him long. He's been moving himself up through the top 10 here, just navigating around. Anthony Calatoni for this race lead, passing not only AJ Cruz, Zach Roethlisberger, but Clay Cantrell as well, as he made quick work of our top 5 and puts himself at the front of the field. So he leads the way, now hoping to open up a little bit of a lead between himself and Calatoni, as Calatoni trying to stay right there on his back bumper. Zach Roethlisberger trying to work himself back up into third here, as Zach started on that pole position. Unfortunately slid back there for a little bit, but now he's got that car pointed back in the right direction. AJ Cruz there in position number 4 and looking for more. Cruz has been up inside the top 5 here all evening long, and Clay Cantrell still hanging out right there in that 5th spot. Unfortunately slid back a couple spots here over the last 10 laps or so. Now just hanging on to a top 5 as he has that 27 of Brett Patterson trying to hunt him down here in a quick hurry in that Coca-Cola Zero 27 ride, as Brian Huntley Jr. there into the 7th spot now. Justin Lewis in 8th, Matthew Fritz, Chris Campbell, Mike Peters, Caleb Ramsey now our top 12, as unfortunately looks like Steve Tucker running some more issues here. The one ride sliding backwards now into position number 13 here on the speedway. Was just up running in position number 7, looking like he was working himself towards the front of the field, maybe up inside the top 5, but now over the last few laps, this one machine has been sliding backwards. Now you see Kenny Reel trying to make that move things outside here. Unfortunately, Reel is going to make it matters worse there for the one ride of Tucker, as Tucker now slides back to 14th. Daryl Young Jr. trying to reel him in, trying to take advantage of the struggling one ride, as he's going to get up and scrubs the outside wall there in that one machine. Possibly some right front damage here for the one ride of Steve Tucker. Matthew Wheeler back there in the 16th position. Would love to move up into 15th as he tries to reel in Daryl Young Jr. and Steve Tucker, who are just right there in front of him. Out in front, though, not getting the run away that we thought he might have had, the 16 ride of Justin Bentley. Still only a couple car lengths in front of the 84 of Anthony Calatoni, as Calatoni rolls there in second, trying to keep that 6 run as Zach Roethlisberger back there at bay. Roethlisberger, though, putting the pressure on the back bumper, not only in the 84, but is pushing the 84 up to the back bumper of the 16. So a lot of close racing up here inside the top 3. You see Clay Cantrell, he's trying to poke his nose into the fun as here comes Calatoni with a run down to the inside here of our race leader. Bentley, Calatoni 1 and 2 down through quarter number 3 and out at quarter number 4. The 16 looking for a big run, but a great run down low. Puts the 84 and the 16 door to door dead even. That last time by the start finish line. So, using the outside momentum now for Justin Bentley. We'll see how that plays out as now the 84 will jump up and clear the 16, and Calatoni back to the race lead here at Dover International Speedway. Zach Roethlisberger going to jump up into that second spot here as he'll take that advantage and move around the 16, as well as now Justin Bentley unfortunately sliding backwards as Clay Cantrell there in fourth. AJ Cruz hanging out there in position number 5 on the Speedway. Brian Huntley Jr., he's been on a move, started back in the 19th position. He's up 13 spots now on the Speedway. Right now is our hard charger out there on the track as he's up 13 spots and rolling. There in the 6th position and looking to try to work himself inside the top 5, as now you see that number 57 right there in front of him as they're reeling in the rest of our leaders. Brett Patterson there in position number 7 with Matthew Fritz now up into 8th. Justin Lewis there in 9th in that 0-7 right as Mike Peters back inside the top 10 here in this one. Caleb Ramsey there in 11th is the Mud Duck Racing with Julius A. Speed Shop, number 5 ride with a little bit of front end damage, still rolling some pretty good consecutive laps here in the 11th spot as the number 68 of Chris Campbell back there in 12th, Kenny Reel in 13th, Darrell Young Jr. back in 14th as Matthew Wheeler now in that 15th position as Steve Tucker slides back to 16th. Derek Gatt right there on his back bumper. Then we see Kerry Klein bringing up the rear of our lead lap drivers. Kerry is the last car on the lead lap, and then unfortunately we see Ryan Kelly and Dale Miller both off the Speedway here. So a tough break for Ryan and Dale here at the Monster Mile. As Miles the Monster unfortunately claiming 2 cars already. There may be more cars to come here throughout the evening as we get another pass for the race lead. Zach Roethlisberger making the pass for P1 and putting himself into the race lead here. So the driver that started on the pole unfortunately instantly fell backwards there by a couple spots and then continued that trend backwards. Finally able to get a good green flag run here and show his strength, and that is using these tires smartly, being patient, and making moves throughout the green flag runs, and he's got himself at the front of the field here once again on the evening. So Roethlisberger leads the way with the 84 of Anthony Calatoni there in second. I do apologize for the yawning. I don't know why I'm tired. I'm not tired. Just been out in the sun golfing pretty much all afternoon here, so we're just a little tuckered out from that, but we are all game and we are all attention game here on this racing action as these guys put on one epic show here for us from the Monster Mile. You see this 34 ride of Brian Huntley Jr. now working himself not only around AJ Cruz but also around Justin Bentley, and the 34 ride continues his march to the front of the field as the Ranger Boats Bass Pro Shop 34 of Brian Huntley Jr. into position number 4 and looking for more as he's up 15 positions from where he started here on the evening, and now inside the top 5 here. He's looking to hunt down our race leaders as Zach Roethlisberger continues to lead the way. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as Ruby Grayson coming in with that follow over on the Twitch channel. Ruby, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, please do me the favor, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube, as we're going to crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. a great crank it up session right there. All these drivers doing a wonderful job as we've seen a few drivers start to head down pit side. I do believe we see Clay Cantrell down pit road right now. We did see AJ Cruz down on pit lane. Kerry Klein coming down pit side. And Steve Tucker already has made a green flag pit stop. He just rolled right around our race leader. And now we see, I do believe, Zach Roethlisberger, our race leader, headed down pit road as well. So Roethlisberger down pit side, and here you go, some green flag pit stops about to get underway as Anthony Calatoni will jump back out in front in the Talkin' Giants number 84 machine. As Calatoni out in front here is not getting down pit side, but tire wear is an issue here at Dover International Speedway. And right now, those fresh tires are making a world of difference for these drivers as Steve Tucker, you know, they're running, you know, some of these drivers have already came down pit side and put fresh tires on. They're running in the 23-second bracket, 23-7, 23-8 out there on the speedway, where the drivers that are still out on the track, they're running 25s, 25-1s, 25-2s, 25-4s. So they're running insurmountably slower, at least a second and a half slower on the racetrack than what some of these drivers with the, you know, the old tires, the new tires are rolling right now. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how much time they can make up here in a quick hurry. But you do see the 57 of AJ Cruz as he merges back out onto the racetrack with that 6 ride right in front of him here. So he came down pit side a couple laps earlier, and that may put him into a position to maybe leapfrog some of these other competitors and put himself into a better position for it later on in the run. But right now he's rolling right behind our race leader at the time, Zach Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger, though, was out in front. He was leading the way there. Clay Cantrell was behind him. Came down pit side a couple laps earlier in those fresh tires. You can tell just that time down pit side with 88 ride. You would move Clay Cantrell to the front of the field over Zach Roethlisberger, who's back in the 11th position. And you can tell the gap that they're making here on some of these drivers is just absolutely insane. As 88 has already came down pit side. The 1 rider, Steve Tucker, also has already came down pit road as well. Tucker came down quite a few laps here before the rest of these drivers, but still running some crazy fast lap times compared to the other guys on the racetrack. Look back here at the 16 of Justin Bentley, who still hasn't came down pit side. Matthew Fritz as well. Mike Peters is yet to come down pit road. Caleb Ramsey right there. He hasn't came down pit side yet either. So you see the 44 ride just rolling right up to him. He's going to split them actually and go right through the middle of both of these drivers, as both Caleb Ramsey and that 95 of Mike Peters are both headed down pit side. There you see the 07 of Justin Lewis, Brett Peterson right there as well. Derek Catt back in the 7th position. So Catt is a lead lap driver still, but yet to make his pit stop here. So the 27 ride just kind of hoping for a caution flag. Same with the rest of our top 6 here as we look back at Clay Cantrell. The gap he has 2.4 seconds between himself and Zach Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger was out in front by about half a second before coming down pit side over Clay Cantrell. So Cantrell was in P2, down pit side a couple laps earlier, and that got him into that winner's perspective right now, as he would be the controlled car here if we don't see a caution flag. So take a look back here at that 6 ride of Zach Roethlisberger and how quickly he's going to catch up to the 07 ride. Justin Lewis currently running in the 3rd spot on the lead lap. Zach Roethlisberger with the fresh tires coming right up to him. And you see how quickly he closes the gap, makes the move down to the inside, how quickly and how much more he can drive that car into the corner, have it stick, rotate the corner, and pull away from that 07 ride. Just there down at the track, he's already, you know, he lost a second, 2 seconds there to that 6 ride of Roethlisberger. So it shows you exactly how much time these drivers are making up by coming down pit road and getting those fresh tires onto their rides. out in front, Justin Lewis is our race leader. He's yet to come down pit side, so isn't the 27, but he's going to make that hard left-hand turn and bring the 27 ride down pit road. Derek Cat still rolling out there as well. He has yet to come down pit side in that 21 ride. Now, the big thing could be is if we see a caution flag. Justin Lewis, Derek Cat could be sitting in the catbird seat as they get to come down pit side, but they could trap a lot of drivers back down a lap here. It's very tough to make laps back without an abundance of caution flag here at Dover International Speedway. So they're kind of rolling a bit of a different strategy than what our race leaders were running here when they came down pit side around lap number 50, I want to say, something like that. But now we're on lap number 70, so the laps are clicking down here, and with these drivers not coming down pit road yet, they're rolling into an area that they can make this a one-stop race here with ease. So it'd be interesting to see if that is the strategy here for some of these drivers that have ran this stage a little bit longer. When you look at Justin, when you look at Derek Cat, drivers that just came down pit side, when you look back at, Justin Bentley or Mike Peters, some of these drivers that came down, around that lap 65, lap 70 area, maybe even lap 60, if they can stretch it and make this a one-stop race and where they can put themselves maybe into the winner's circle here. They got to carry a ton of speed, a ton of momentum, and hope that all the other drivers that have already came down pit side will have to make another pit stop as well. If they play this as a two-pit race, then this could really mix things up as Derek Cat still rolling out there on the speedway. Lewis now down pit side as Clay Cantrell. They're in position number 2. Clay Cantrell, he's about 6 seconds back here of that 21 ride, so Clay Cantrell looking to try to chase him down, maybe reconvene this race lead and put himself back at the front of the field as in front. Roethlisberger still about 2.5 seconds back of that 88 ride. So Roethlisberger hasn't made up much ground on that 88, but he's opened up quite a bit of ground between himself and AJ Cruz. He's now about 3 seconds. 3.25 seconds now between Roethlisberger, our third-place driver, and the 57 of AJ Cruz. He's about 3 seconds back of the 57 ride, so things are very spread out here at the moment. Matthew Fritz there in 6th, Justin Bentley, he's in 7th, and he's at risk of potentially going a lap down to our second-place driver here, which after green flag pit stops could be our race leaders. Clay Cantrell there in 2nd. He sees that 16 in the 5 rider. Caleb Ramsey right there in front of Gomez. Ramsey and Justin Bentley are the last 2 lead lap drivers here on the racetrack. Kenny Reel, the first car 1 lap down, he is in that 3-tenths position. So if a caution flag were to fly, he could work himself back on the lead lap with the Lucky Dog Award. Mike Peters there as well. He's a lap down right now, but he's not in that Lucky Dog position. So he's trying to get up on top of the wheel, trying to hunt down that 23 ride to see if he can put himself into that position. But he may not have a lot of time here as we do see Derek Cat head down pit side. So Derek Cat has made that pit stop, which will put the 88 of Clay Cantrell back out in front. So Cantrell leads the way here at Dover International Speedway with not a lot of laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Only 75 laps left here as Brantley Roden says drivers are getting black flags for tires at like 5%. 5%! Woo! That is a risky one right there for any of those drivers that are staying out there with 5% tire left. That is a very, very scary. You never want to have a tire blowout. You can easily go around, create a ton of damage, not only for yourself, but for the rest of the competition as well. Luckily enough, we see everyone has made at least a pit stop now, but we may be starting to roll into the frame of, when are we going to see possibly another round of pit stops, and where does that put the drivers that stayed out a little bit later? Can they stretch that fuel to maybe get to the very end? Can they keep their cars pointing in the right direction? Definitely a bit of a strategy move that they could pull, see if they can put themselves into victory lane here on the 8-pit. Look back at drivers like Brad Patterson, who is back in, the 12th position right now, currently a lap down, but he was one of those drivers that pitted quite a bit later and possibly could put himself into a one-stop cycle here and possibly in the victory lane. Or you look back at Justin Lewis, who just came down pit side. He's got a lot fresher tires than what the 27 ride even has, so he may be really in that 27 ride, knowing that that could be the battle for the win if their strategy plays out. If you don't see a late race caution flag, could put them into victory lane here on the evening. Cantrell still out in front, now sees his lead starting to shrink here a little bit as these tires starting to fall off a little bit more and a little bit more. Drivers starting to struggle here as those tires start to fade away. Clay Cantrell came down pit side a few laps earlier than Zach Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger stayed out a little bit later and unfortunately allowed the 88 to leapfrog him, take that race lead through those green flag pit stops and put himself out in front by 2.5 seconds. But now Roethlisberger trying to reel him back in, as we know the sixth ride shows a lot of speed late in the run. So as everyone starts to struggle, the sixth ride can hang on just a little bit longer, where he can find a ton of speed and make a lot of moves and maybe put himself back to the front of the field like we saw during that first good green flag run. AJ Cruz currently in that third spot on the Speedway, but he does have the 88 of Anthony Calatoni reeling him in here as Calatoni looking to try to jump back up into position number 3. Matthew Briggs back there in the 5th position as Justin Bentley there in 6th. Caleb Ramsey rolling in the 7th spot as Mike Peters back there in 8th. Kenny Reel in the 9th spot. Brett Patterson in position number 10 as Justin Lewis there in 11th. Darrell Young Jr. back in 12th. Steve Tucker there in 13th. Matthew Wheeler back in the 14th spot with Darren Gatt, Kerry Klein, Chris Campbell rounding out our top 18 as we leave 34 of Brian Huntley Jr. down pit side. Ryan Kelly and Dale Miller have both left the building here. They've taken their cars back to the haulers here for the evening. So a tough break for the 13 and the 8 machine here today. But right now, the 88 continues to lead the way, and he's actually starting to open up that lead a little bit more. It was down to 1.5 seconds. We just saw it jump up to about the 1.8 second of a lead between himself and Zach Roethlisberger. This could get interesting. This could be a fuel mileage race. This could be a tire wear race. This could be just a caution fest late in this race where we see these drivers up on top of the wheel beating and banging lap after lap. But we've already seen 2 caution flags here this evening, which is 2 caution flags more than what we saw last Friday. Last Friday, we only saw 0 caution flags, not a single caution flag. Last week, we went 100 green flag laps around Homestead Miami Speedway, not one yellow flag for that race. So we're already above what they did last week for those yellows. So that could be something in the back of the mind for these drivers that are on different strategies and how this race may play out now that we've seen, drivers go an enormous amount of laps of green flag racing. They've been proving it here just alone in this race as they've laid down a lot of green flag laps, and once again looking like there's no stop to it. It's out in front. They continue the battle. We'll jump into another quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up before the end of our racing. continue the countdown here at the beautiful Dover International Speedway. As each and every one of them putting on a show. Here in this one, we see Zach Roethlisberger out in front, leading the way here at Dover. It is the Monster Mile, and already Miles the Monster has claimed quite a few drivers, but we've seen a lot of drivers running into tire issues, especially as this green flag run continues on. It's tearing away at these tires, and these drivers are hanging on for dear life here on the Speedway. But the sixth ride of Zach Roethlisberger, he's got that six-car point in the right direction. He's got these tires figured out. Seems to find a lot of speed late in the run, and he's having some fun here at the front of the field as he continues to show them how to get it done. As we have seen some drivers getting black flags for tires being at 5%. So if that continues on, if that trend continues, it may unfortunately take some drivers out of this race. So far, though, it's been fairly decent as we do see the 68 of Chris Campbell down pit side, Brian Huntley Jr. down pit road, as well as Kerry Klein back in the 16th spot. Steve Tucker there in the 15th position in the beautiful number 1 ride as the Harpoon Designs Toyota rolls there in that 15th position. AJ Cruz, who we saw having such a good run up inside the top 3, he has already made a second pit stop here on the evening. So he's got that 57 ride down pit side, has fresh tires on it, and now he's rolling a lot faster than the rest of the drivers on the racetrack. Last time by ran a 23:57. Our race leader ran a 25-second lap even. So about a second and a half difference right now between AJ Cruz and Zach Roethlisberger. And now Roethlisberger, Clay Cantrell, Anthony Calatoni have to come down pit side. We may see drivers staying out late again, like we saw at the the first half of this race. We saw some of these guys coming down on lap 45, lap 50, around lap 60 for pit stops, or they may have to come back down again here, where we saw some of these other drivers like Brantley, Mike Peters, Justin Lewis, Brent Patterson. They were drivers that were on a totally different schedule, totally different way here to do things in this race, and different pit strategies could put them into the winner's circle if we continue on green flag racing here at the Monster Mile. As Zach Roethlisberger leads the way, only 7 drivers left on the lead lap as Mike Peters, the last car on the lead lap, right here in front of the 6th ride. So Zach Roethlisberger looking at maybe see if he can put that 95 ride a lap down here on the Speedway. Caleb Ramsey not too much farther in front of our race leader, as Justin Brantley about half a track ahead here in that 5th position. But it's going to come down to whether or not they can make it A on tires or B on fuel here to the very end. With only 14 more laps left to go, it's going to get absolutely wild here at Dover International Speedway. My boy John Fowler, John coming in showing the love with the like on the stream. Kevin, Timmy coming in showing the love. What's good, Bubba? Kev coming in showing the big love here. Alan Peters coming in with the love as well with the like on the stream, coming in showing the big love here in this one over on the Facebook channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that gosh heckin' like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube. Make sure you turn those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. As the 6th ride of Zach Roethlisberger leads the way, he's reeling in the 2 cars in front of him. That is our 7th and 6th place drivers right here on the front nose of the 6th ride. So Roethlisberger trying to put them down a lap, and you know that Peters, he's been battling hard here in that 7th spot to stay on the lead lap. Caleb Ramsey was just about a straightaway and a bit in front of these guys. It slid back quite a ways, and now at grips of the 95 and the 6th ride as Roethlisberger just got very slow there out at corner number 4 as the 6th ride almost lost it there. Almost made that mistake, but right now all he's got to do is stay on cruise control, keep himself out of trouble, keep that car pointed in the right direction, as he has a 7-second lead between himself and Clay Cantrell. So Cantrell back 7 seconds here on our race leader. He's got about 4.5 seconds between himself and Anthony Calatoni. Matthew Fritz about 2.5 seconds back of the 84 ride for P3 on the Speedway. 3 seconds back, we see Justin Bentley, and then 7 seconds behind that, we see the 95 of Mike Peters and Caleb Ramsey here right in front of our race leader, trying to stay on the lead lap as now they battle door to door here for position number 6. Ramsey down low, Peters up on the high side. So Mike Peters gonna jump into 6 here as now Caleb Ramsey gonna fall back to our race leader, Zach Roethlisberger. Now Roethlisberger gonna try to put that 5 ride a lap down out here on the Speedway as the laps are running out here. Only 9 more laps left to go, 8 more this time by the start finish line for that number 6 of Zach Roethlisberger. So as the laps wind down, tires fading away, drivers trying to hang on and keep their cars pointed in the right direction. A huge lead now for this 6 machine as he's out in front by 7.4 seconds between himself and Clay Cantrell. The last thing he would want to see is a late race caution flag. We had 2 early race caution flags here all the evening, which is 2 more than what we had last Friday as they went 100 laps of green flag racing at Homestead Miami Speedway. Roethlisberger hoping for more of the same from the MNT Cup Series drivers here this evening, and he wants to see this caution-free right down to the very end as he is out in front and has set sail here on the rest of the field. As you do see AJ Cruz, who came down pit side for a second pit stop here, trying to use those fresh tires to his advantage late in this race. Unfortunately, he is 2 laps down here on the Speedway, looking to try to put himself 1 lap down if he can figure out a way to get around this 6 ride. He's got a lot better tires, so he's going to make quick work there. Roethlisberger put himself back on 1 lap down, but he is not in the free pass position, and unfortunately back in the 13th spot may be the wrong move, making that second pit stop for the 57 ride. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out for him as now he's down low here on the Speedway. Do we see the 57 coming back down pit side? AJ Cruz unfortunately headed back down pit road here. This is a heartbreaker for that number 57 ride as the strategy just not playing out there for AJ Cruz. The Mud Duck Racing with Jewel State Speed Shop number 57 right here this evening, and now down pit side for another time, and that is going to fall in deeper in the field as Roethlisberger looking underneath the 95 right of Mike Peters, trying to put Peters a lap down here. He's going to beat him across the line. So as this moment, only 5 drivers left on the lead lap, and they're all outside of 8 seconds of our race leader as Roethlisberger heads down the back straightaway. Clay Cantrell down through quarter number 1. Anthony Calatoni now into quarter number 1 as Justin Brantley now down past the start finish line. Matthew Fritz right there as well in P5, but right there across the line is our race leader of Zach Roethlisberger with an over 8-second lead advantage here at the Monster Mile. And only 2 more laps left to go. He's just hoping he can get back to see that white flag. If he sees that white flag fly, that means the next flag will end it no matter what, whether it's the checkered or the caution flag. As he routes quarter number 4, Zach Roethlisberger will see that white flag fly. So only 1 more time around here for that number 6 machine. The beautiful Brad Keselowski paint scheme ride as Zach Roethlisberger slowed down the back straightaway, but he's gonna look the 95 right go around, making sure that he's cautious for the final time down through quarter number 3 and out of quarter number 4. Zach Roethlisberger is gonna pick up the checker flag here at Dover International Speedway in the MNT Cup Series. Roethlisberger getting it done here this evening. A wonderful race and a wonderful show in this 6 machine. He always talks about how he's so good on longer runs, and he showed it here this evening on that first run before the green flag pit stops, and here on this second run here to end the evening, got out in front and drove away from the rest of the field as Clay Cantrell gonna come home in position number 2 in the MNT Motorsports number 88 ride, and the Talkin' Giants number 84 of Anthony Calatoni will round out our top three. But the sixth ride, Zach Roethlisberger, he's going to get ready to burn it down here at the Monster Mile Dover International Speedway. Our race winner celebrating here on the front straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see a hashtag 6 up in the chat right now for this number 6 machine. As man, what a show, what a race he just put on for each and every one of us to enjoy. That was a heck of a show, a heck of a race, and a heck of a drive by the entire field, but no one better than Zach Roethlisberger here this evening as such a deserving win for that 6 machine. A super fast driver, super clean driver, and he finds himself a way into victory lane here this evening. And a little bit of a throwback here to Alan Kowicki. Looks like he's going to do the Polish victory lap here for a little bit, but doesn't look like he's going to continue all the way around. He's going to take it down pit side, and that means we'll get ready to jump up into the broadcast booth here with our top 3 finishers. This is our top 3. We're going to be waiting patiently here. We'll get ready to pull them up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Zach, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Zach, man, what a run, what a race. We've talked a lot before about how that 6 ride seems to find an extra gear later on in these runs, and a racetrack like Dover is a perfect place for you to show that that skill level that you have of being able to save those tires, keep them underneath of you, and have a run late in the race. As we saw it twice there, that first run before the green flag pit stops, as everyone else was starting to fall back and fall off, you came to life, worked yourself from 5th all the way back to the front of the field, opened up a bit of a lead. Then you come back out, same thing, you're running, trying to get yourself back on the lead lap, hoping that everything cycles through without a caution flag, and trying to hunt down Clay Cantrell. And slowly but surely, as he starts to fall off, you just stay consistent, and you pull up, you pull around him, and then you pull away, and here you are up almost 8 seconds there on that last lap. You gave a little bit back there, just trying to be cautious of the 95 ride, and allowed Peters to go back around you there in corner number 3, but you're over 7 seconds here, over 7.5 seconds in front of Clay Cantrell and the rest of the field to put yourself up into victory lane, man. Take us through this race and take us through, the strategy here at the racetrack.
Yeah, so the way that the setup was, it built loose in my opinion, and you were going to get looser and looser throughout the run. So I knew the fall off was going to be big, and saving tires was going to be really important. So you just kind of focused on that throughout the run, and Dover is one of those tracks for me that I feel super comfortable with and competitive at, and just felt like I had the line dialed in, and was able to save the right rear optimally to where I needed to be. So that was kind of the strategy. At the beginning of the race there, I kind of let a couple people go and just kind of bided my time, and eventually picked them off, and just kept that same composure throughout the race, and ultimately ended up pretty well for us. So definitely fun.
Absolutely, definitely a lot of fun, and definitely a lot funner when you can put yourself into victory lane and celebrating out there on the racetrack after the checkered flag as you pull the 6 ride up here into victory lane. Zach, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Yeah, I just thank everybody that makes the league go around. Thank all the league admins, Clay Cantrell, Justin Bentley, Derek Catt, Fred Anderson, Mike Peters, for putting everything together, and making this happen. So thank you to those guys. Thank you for you in the broadcast booth, and doing what you do, and helping us out, and putting on a good show for us. We definitely appreciate it. I want to thank Amir for the race control that he did. He did a great job tonight. So just a lot of moving pieces that make this go around, and definitely a team effort for sure. And then last and foremost, thank you to the drivers who came out tonight and have made this a lot of fun. So hopefully to continue, and we've got some momentum building, and excited to see where it lands.
Absolutely, as all this momentum continue to build up, and having these good runs and picking up some checkered flags, putting yourself into the big picture here of the championship. What are you thinking here going in through the first 5 races of the series, knowing that you got 5 races left, halfway in, halfway to go. How you feeling knowing that you could potentially be the champion here on the inaugural season of the MNT Cup Series?
Definitely would be cool if that's how it shakes out. I think we've got 2 wins so far in the season here in Vegas. So it's definitely been a good start so far, and it's been a lot of fun driving against these guys. We had a 2900s off tonight in a league race that was we just had put together, and we've had some really competitive drivers out. So the championship would be great, but overall, just been enjoying the racing first and foremost, and that's hats off to these guys for putting on such a great show.
Absolutely. Lots of good green flag laps. A lot of fun out there after. We saw last week 100 green flag laps without a caution flag. Basically the same thing here today. We saw 2 early caution flags, and then ever since that, it was nonstop green flag action and a lot of great battles out there on the Speedway, but none better than when you were able to make that move, get around the 88 ride of Clay Cantrell, and drive that 6 ride up here into victory lane. Zach, congratulations on the great run. Congratulations on the second win of the season, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Friday.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Zach Roethlisberger as he picks up the win here this evening. Parks that 6th ride up in victory lane as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. Our boy Derek Cat coming in showing the love over there on YouTube as well. Says, great broadcast, man. I appreciate you coming in showing the love in this one. Derek coming in showing the love like usual, brother. And some great racing, great action out there. The drivers and all of you guys that tune in and show up and put on these races every single week, man. You make my job up here in the booth that much easier. So you see the 68 ride smoking down there pit side. He's got some issues under the hood after the checkered flag, so a tough break for him, but a good break for the 88 of Clay Cantrell as he's able to hang on and pull himself up onto the podium in position number 2. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey Clay, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
I got you, brother.
Clay, man, a good run, a great race here. A little bit of strategy here during the green flag pit stops. You come down a few laps earlier than what Zach does. It allows you to leapfrog him. You come out of the pits with, about 2.5 second lead, a 2.5 second advantage. You're able to hold that gap for quite a few laps, but then probably around lap 80, lap 90, it seemed like, the 88 ride started to fall off a little bit more and a little bit more, where Zach just somehow or another just stayed so consistent, was able to reel you back in, and then late in that race, able to run away and open up a big lead there between the two of you.
Well, I'll let you in on the strategy call. It's called I'm an idiot. I didn't think we could make it on fuel. So I just come down, I jump him on pit road, and he's like, "Are you coming?" I said, "Yeah, I'm coming." He said, "Okay, that's bold." I didn't really get it. I didn't pick up on it. So there with my plan was to rip until 35 to go. And then I look at fuel and I have 34 laps of fuel left, and I'm like, "Oh no." So last 25 laps I had to just clutch it. Just clutching, trying to save fuel. Ended up keeping enough fuel in the car to make it all the way, but I told you last week if DraftKings could put money on Zach Roethlisberger, that was an easy bet. He's killer here. So finishing second's kind of like first. I am definitely pleased with it, and we had a blast, man. That setup was phenomenal. Premier did a great job on that, and it was overall it was a great race. Just glad I could do that.
Absolutely. Some great racing, some great action. We saw a lot of, battling side by side out there, a lot of action on a couple of those restarts, and then just another good showing here of the talent between you and all the other drivers in the field. Another 100 laps basically of green flag racing. Obviously, we saw 2 quick caution flags early in the race, but as the dust got settled from those, we saw another extended green flag run here in the series, which is absolutely amazing. But man, still such a great run and a great show by yourself as you were right there in the thick of things. Maybe just that little bit too early of a pit stop might have taken you out of the contention, where you might have had that extra fuel to run those 5-6 laps where you wouldn't have to worry about that fuel saving mode and be able to run and try to keep that 6 ride at bay. Do you think you would have been able to hold them off, or do you think he still would have gotten around you there late in this race?
I know one thing. He's crazy fast here, but I mean, I was pushing the pit with 35 to go, so I was driving the car completely different. Just running the tires for 30 laps instead of running them for 75, 65. So I think it'd have been a good race for sure. I had good pace with him right out the gate and through the middle of that run. And it just felt like once he pulled away a little bit, if you had a lap car or anything, I could just pull right back to him. And when I wanted to push, I could pull back to him. But again, it's just a cat and mouse game. It's all about pace. But I think we could have definitely gave him a run for his money.
Absolutely, especially if we might have saw a late race caution flag. We saw the sixth ride not very fast on the the short runs. He lost a lot of spots early in the race, just trying to be a little bit saving, trying to be a little cautious there. You think if you had that late race caution and a good pit stop, they might have been able to make the move and run away with it from him.
I definitely wouldn't have ran away. But yeah, I definitely think we could have gave him a shot. But overall, still with the way it played out, to get second after that, I mean that's awesome for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Clay, you pull it up here in P2 and Dover International Speedway. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here in this one?
Oh, dude, like to thank you for putting the broadcast on. We definitely appreciate that. I'd like to thank AMR for race control, Premier for the setups. Again, this was a fantastic setup. Just the car, it never got too loose or too tight the whole time. It did get pretty loose on exit, but that's Dover in itself. But as far as building the next gen setup for Dover, that's as good as it could get for sure. Just like to thank the admin team for what they do for us at MNT, and just glad we can do it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Friday. Hopefully, we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth after a great, solid second place run here this evening. Maybe we'll see you one spot better and up in victory lane next week.
Well, I might have took the points lead right there, so we'll call that a win for the week too. We'll crack a beer on that.
Absolutely, that's definitely crack one for me as well, brother.
We'll do it, man. Thanks.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening and congratulations again on the second place run.
You too, man. See you next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Clay Cantrell as he comes home in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for the 88 machine as we'll get ready to pull our third place finisher, Anthony Calatoni, up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Anthony, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you copy?
How are you doing?
Not too bad, Anthony, man. A great run and a great show here for you tonight in this one, man. The 84 ride looking fresh as always. Rolling out there on the Speedway. We saw you lead some laps. We saw you battling hard there with Clay Cantrell and Zach Roethlisberger, Justin Bentley, and so many other great talented drivers here in this race that you were able to duke it out with for a lot of laps here this evening. But late in this one, obviously things get a little bit more spread out with, green flag pit stops and everything else playing out. You're able to make some moves, though, and work yourself back up here into a podium finish, man. Take us back through this race, and how does it feel to be up here in P3?
It feels good for a nice solid finish. Finally, on Friday nights, had a couple. I'm not gonna say misfortunes because I for the first race and then I missed one and had to drive from the back at Homestead last week. But just it was. I had confidence coming in here, being my home track and everything here, and I just I couldn't control I guess the wear on the rear tires after about 30 laps, and it was wrecking coming off of two there for that first run, and that just trying to keep control of it and just trying to take the easy with the pace the second run. Just that was just the goal there.
Absolutely. Obviously, we saw Zach running it so well, but we saw you come alive there late in this race as well, running some great lap times and, closing the gap, between a lot of these other drivers, making the moves around them to put yourself up into P3. And you talk about that tire wear. We had, Brantley wrote it up in the chat. He was saying that some drivers were getting black flags for tires at like 5% and everything else. So the tire wear early in this race seemed like it was pretty crazy as we saw some drivers starting to head down pit side around lap 45, lap 50, and the second run, I wasn't sure if drivers were going to have to make a second pit stop or not, knowing that the tire wear was such a massive effect on that first run.
Yeah, my tire wear on my right front actually was pretty good. It was just trying not to burn off that right rear, and I did. I think I did better the first run than the second run because I was trying to run down, make the time up when I should have just been real and known that I wasn't going to run down all that time there. But uh, I think it didn't never pushed it off the corner. It was just super loose with the heating up the right rear there. But that was the goal. Like Zach did a phenomenal job trying to save his rears there during that second run.
Absolutely. Now, one more question here for you, Anthony. Do you think you want to had something there for Clay or Zach if we would have saw a late race caution flag, as we saw you making moves on a couple of those early race starts? But do you think you might have had something for him here late in that race if we saw a yellow flag?
I think I would have got Clay, and I probably would me and Zach probably would have battled out pretty good because I felt confident in the short run speed. If you didn't push too hard, because you could have burnt the rear tires out in 5 laps if you pushed too hard. But I think a green white checkered it would have been fun to broadcast. I'll say that.
Absolutely. Would have definitely been a heck of a show. But you guys put on a heck of a show no matter what as you pull that 84 right up here onto the podium. Anthony, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening at Dover?
Well, I'd like to thank the sponsor, Talking Giants podcast and John Boy Media. I appreciate their support in all the leagues I run. Uh, I want to thank the league for doing what they do to have a place for me to run, and I want to thank you for the broadcast.
I appreciate that, brother. Well, Anthony, a great run, a great drive here for you tonight. Hopefully that momentum continues to build for you and, getting closer and closer to that checkered flag. Maybe one of these nights before the end of the season, we'll see you up here in victory lane yourself.
Thank you. We're looking forward to Atlanta next week.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe back up here, maybe a couple spots better in victory lane next week.
That's the plan.
Beauty. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Anthony, and congratulations again on the third place run.
Thank you. You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher here this evening as the number 84, Anthony Calatoni, coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great race by all these drivers here this evening as they put on one epic showdown for us here at the beautiful Dover International Speedway. The Monster Mile here tonight claimed a couple cars. Miles the Monster grabbed a hold of them, but everyone doing a great jump here. We saw, I want to say, probably about 100 laps of green flag racing to finish off this evening's battles here tonight. Almost 100 laps here late in this race of green flag nonstop action, a green flag cycle of pit stops. It was absolutely awesome to watch and see these guys duking it out there right down to the very bitter end. But listen, that will do it for us here this evening. I can't thank you guys enough for coming in and showing the love. Everyone coming with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate Playford Sheets coming in, showing the love with that thumbs up on the broadcast right now as well. If you guys are rewatching this, any of the drivers or family members, if you're watching it now and we're not currently live, please make sure you still do those 3 things. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit that follow and or subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube. It's absolutely free to do and helps us out a ton. And make sure you guys drop a couple comments. Let us know what you think of the broadcast and the racing action there. As once again, huge shout out to everyone for tuning in, and a huge shout out to MNT Cup Series for having me on board for yet again another amazing race here in the series. Well, I can't thank y'all enough. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, what a show.